Hello again, Kingston, Keegan, Dill, Sprunger, and Pig Clan. I think I got them all this time. Papa K back again, beginning the second round of Grandma's cookies, Grandma's favorite cookies. Again, I'm recording these for Prosperity sake, and we're going to start with Grandma's oatmeal cookies. This round, remember, I break these out into like three sessions. Prep, baking, because sometimes that's easy, more complicated than just putting it in the oven. And then results. Sometimes if the prep is short, I'll just combine that in the first two. But regardless, there's probably always going to be two videos on the cookie and the results. Again, I'm making these once. I personally think takes me 3 times to make a recipe, to make something, to make it the way I want it. So this will give you the foundation, and you can take it from there. So we'll get started on Grammy's oatmeal cookies. I made them once before and got some hints from all of you that I'm going to use again, or for the first time. And so here we go. Forgot I need some cinnamon. That's one of the secret weapons here that vanilla, where's my cinnamon? There we go. Okay, I thought I had all the ingredients out, but I didn't. Okay, as always, step 1, wash your hands. Nobody wants your germs. And again, gloves work, but you gotta put new ones on every time you move. Ooh, that's hot. Every time you move from one food substance to another. Okay, there we go. I like paper towels, as we've mentioned. I don't repeat myself too much. Okay, first thing we need is a cup full of butter. Grandma's recipe calls it oleo, and that was like a lard-based substance that was very popular. Crisco was a popular one. Any butter or margarine can replace that. This is Land O'Lakes butter with canola oil, which I like to use as a replacement. This is one of Grammy's spoons. Unfortunately, the burn mark came from me and our dishwasher, but it's still one of Grammy's spoons. So let's fill this in. And again, a little extra butter never hurt anybody. There you go. At least that's my motto. Okay, next from there, hold on, let me get my trusty spoon holder. Try and keep the place clean. The next is sugars. So we've got a cup of brown sugar. And again, from previous ones, you know that I like to just move without cleaning out the cup. I always put a sticky substance in first, and then, something like a sugar next, because it'll stick and it'll eat up the rest of the butter that's left in the cup. And this is firmly packed, so you got to firmly pack this brown sugar, and then make sure you got more in here. Firmly pack it some more. Just a little more. Okay. Come on out of there, brown sugar. Okay. See how it gets the rest of that butter in there? Comes out with it. Again, I try and clean as I go as much as possible. Keep a clean work surface. Brown sugar, 1/2 cup granulated sugar. Then try and get all my ingredients out in advance. I'm eventually trying to get a cooking cart which can carry all the ingredients, and the top there's a cutting board, and I can wheel it in and out with everything and just have all my stuff in one area. So that's what I'm working on. So beat together margarine, sugars until creamy. Okay, so we got to get this margarine. I probably didn't let it be at room temperature long enough, so it's going to be, the whip is not going to work. So I will whip it together with the spoon. I'll come back for that. So that's a good note here. Make sure your butter is at room temperature or even melted, because otherwise you get what I got here, which is going to take me a while to get this to a creamy state because the butter is too hard. So lesson 1. But just makes it a little more exercise, that's all. You get your arm workout going. How are we looking here video wise? You guys seeing it? What I'm talking about here? Do I got to go a little higher here? Or a little lower? There we go. So as you can see, it's kind of chunky still. It's supposed to be creamy. And as I said, because I didn't, let my butter get soft enough prior to, creates a little more work for me on the back end. But getting there. And what else do we have to do? For me, what I love about cooking is, or baking or whatever is, it's cathartic and it's mindless. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that it doesn't require a lot of thinking. You follow instructions, you do what you're told, you learn, and maybe do something different the next time. But besides that, it's a repetitive process, which again I find to be cathartic. Got a little chunk in here. Let me see if I can break it up. Let's go back to the whip. See if that's good now. I don't think so, but we'll try it. Maybe not. Oh, maybe. There you go. So, add eggs and vanilla. Beat well. So the eggs I did pull out are at room temperature. Thought ahead there. So it's 2 eggs and a tablespoon of vanilla. Add eggs and vanilla, beat well. 2 eggs. Uno. Dos. And we have a teaspoon of vanilla. together well. Still got some brown sugar chunks in there. I don't know why my brown sugar has chunks in it. Okay. Add baking soda, cinnamon, and salt. I gotta order some more kosher salt. So we have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Let me clean this out. I don't want the baking soda sticking to the vanilla. Reverse order. One teaspoon of salt. Now this is one of Grammys fixes. Add 1 more teaspoon of salt. 1, 2, and I'm even going to go a little bit more. Go overboard. And half of salt. Beat well. Now, the recipe has raisins optional. You know, there's mixed thoughts about raisins. Some people like them, some people don't. I don't personally, so I'm not going to add raisins into my recipe, but feel free to add raisins into your recipe. There's a step down the path here that I'm just going to skip where you add the raisins. Slowly add flour and beat. So we have 1 1/2 cups of flour. All-purpose flour. Okay, we know you're ready. We will clean this out. Get a little in here since I put my hands on it. Get a little soapy. A little soap in my hands. Never a problem to get clean. Oops. So you see I have a towel here also. I use that to kind of wipe up things as I go, if I make spills or whatever. So again, it's 1 1/2 cups of flour. So I'm going to do the 1 first. And I'm going to mix that in, and then I'm going to add the 1/2. See how I use the spoon here, because in the beginning it might be a little sticky for the whip. So I'll get it started. You can see that a little bit of it popped out. You got to be careful. It's flour. Back to the whip. Make sure I try and get everything off the sides. Okay, now we'll add the other 1/2 cup. Flour is always a pain, gets everywhere. Okay. Okay, now is the time to add oats. 3 cups of the oats. Three cups of oats. A little extra in there, just to be sure. And mix. Again, we will start with the spoon. Just try and push it in here. This one we may just stay with the spoon the whole time. It's pretty sticky stuff and thick, so we'll have a hard time going through the whisk, whatever you want to call it. With my spatula, get every last bit. These kids wouldn't have been too happy about this. We got to lick up all the extra, but we'll just keep it like this for now. Pretty soon I'm going to have someone here that will be interested in the extras very shortly. Okay. All right. Now this ends the prep stage. We're going to cover this and put it in the refrigerator for a bit, because that was also one of the extra added notes on Grandma's in this cookbook, and Kat also confirmed it. A little refrigeration time. And I always like parchment paper when I do something like this instead of tin foil. It seems a little more natural to me. So I'm going to put this in here, and voila. So that ends the prep stage. In a bit, that will come out, and I'll do a video putting on a pan in the oven in the cook stage, and we'll see what goes from there. In the meantime, I'm going to start another cookie. See you in a bit.